Gaudy stats. Good God, that's gaudy. Welcome to Gaudy Stats
with Ben Simmons.
What's on the menu, Benny boy?
Oh, yeah. Welcome. Great to have you here. Pull up a seat, lie back on that couch, sit cramped like a sardine, packed in a tiny can on that bus, walk through the rain, walk through the snow, and listen to the sweet sounds of a man who has no statistical background, has never studied numbers, has no math background, and can barely add two numbers. It takes him like 25 minutes, can barely add two single-digit numbers. Me talk about sports statistics, listen to it, and hopefully enjoy it. Today, I'm talking to my buddy, Brandon, the B-Man, B-Dizzle. This man, he was born in Chicago, born and bred. He's currently a Chicagoan. I give him a little ring, and we talk a little Bears football. So you're probably like, Bears, didn't they have the worst ranked passing offense last year in the NFL? Simmons, you love passing. Why in the fuck would you talk about the Bears? Well, it's kind of a bizarro. It's opposite day on the Gaudy Stats podcast. Plus, Brandon's my buddy. I'm gonna talk to my buddy. He's my buddy. Should I not say buddy? Should I retire buddy from my lexicon? Buddy. It sounds a little weird now. Is that cool? Hey, kids, is buddy cool still? God, I sound so dumb, so stupid, so not cool. Ugh, what am I gonna do? Just keep talking into the mic. Okay, but yeah, we're gonna talk some Bears, talk some the recent hiring of Nagy, who they can't go anywhere but up. And this Nagy character, he's got a history of installing potent offenses that are college style that could make little Mitchell, he's 6'2", Simmons, could make Mitchell Trubisky fantasy relevant even, possibly. So yeah, it should be fun. And he also Brandon brings up some interesting points on waterbug Tarik Cohen, what his future could be under Nagy. It's an interesting pod. It's fun. Do we go off the rails? Yes. Every pod we go off the rails. It's part of the Gaudy Stats experience. You go off the rails, you get lost, and you come right back. All right? In honor of Chicago, with this steaming, delicious podcast, we're going to have on the side a very substantial, large slice of Chicago deep dish style pizza. Yes, on the side we're having pizza, okay? And I think we're gonna do a little Italian sausage, maybe some peppers, some hot peppers, a little jardiniere. Is that how you say it? It's like the hot pickled sauce. We'll do some of that as well. Oh God, I'm getting so hungry just thinking about that. Okay. Enough chatter, enough rambling. Let's hit it.
Hello, sir.
It's been so long.
It's been way too long.
It's great to hear your deep baritone on the other line. Very happy to hear it.
My nasally drone.
Are you sick? You sound a little sick.
Yeah, I'm a little stuffed up.
Yeah, me too.
I've had a cold for like 2 weeks, and I finally stopped like coughing and sneezing incessantly, but still got a little head thing going on here.
Yeah. I did something that I've never done before yesterday. I drank some broth out of a mug.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's getting to that point. It's cold.
Wow, that's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you doing the neti pot?
Well, actually, I did the neti pot, and then I drank the fluid that came out of my nose afterwards.
Oh, God, and that was the broth. I see.
Yeah. That's it's a broth of my own making, viscousy and thick and delicious. That's a great way to get going here. It's a great intro. Yeah.
I'm sure the listeners will love that.
Yeah. I've been talking about food a lot, so talking about my mucus as food is just a natural progression that I'm sure they'll all enjoy.
It's really the next level.
Well, my friend, some big news hit today, as you know.
Yes, it did.
It seems the Bears have themselves a new head coach.
Yes, they do. Matt Nagy, he coming over from the Chiefs as the offensive coordinator. Obviously, everyone knows the story this year with the Chiefs switching from Andy Reid calling the plays to Mr. Nagy, and he did a great job for the few games he was there. Seems to have a good reputation around the league, and at the end of the day, it's really an unknown. And Gase has really bet his career here on Mitch Trubisky, and bringing Nagy in to really be a mentor, a teacher, an instructor to Trubisky, and get him to where a number 2 pick for a quarterback is supposed to be. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading this article today, and it was listing some of the stats of the Bears' offense this past season, and God,
just putrid.
Oh
yeah.
God, I could smell the stench coming out of the computer or the screen. It was like some kind of spiritual, just filthy. I mean, I'm looking at these stats right now. Total
yard.
I
had to watch this every Sunday, by the way. Well, I didn't have to.
I'm sorry. I just like totally badmouthed your team there. I went above and beyond.
It's 100% worth badmouthing. I mean, we have a doddering old lady that owns the team, and make these odd, like, hipster picks to be our head coach and our GM. Phil Emery and Mark Trussman has just been a revolving door of idiots here. So I think I know you're going to go through the stats here. I don't know one of them, but I was reading today in the last 5 seasons they were tied for 30, I think, in the NFL. It was either total offensive points or something like that.
Oh man, I hadn't seen that. Wow.
Yeah. So part of this too is really to get the offense going, and they still have Fangio, who came over from your 49ers, and
he's a great guy. He's
great for the.
Yeah, he's a great defensive coordinator.
Oh, absolutely, and so hoping, and the Bears have actually made some decent picks in the draft, and getting Trevathan was a big help. And Floyd went down this year, but he'll be back next year, and hopefully can continue to play at the level he was. But the secondary looks okay, which is more than you can say for about the last 10 years on this team, and if you can get something going on the offensive side of the ball, I really think he probably has 1-2 years max to get this team to the playoffs, or at least get to 9 wins and pull a Ravens like they did this year or something like that. But he's got to make a significant, I'd say 3 to 4 win increase, from this year, and they probably won't get to play the Browns next year, so basically a 5-win increase.
Man, their defense is underrated. The Bears' defense.
Absolutely.
I mean, against my Niners, that field goal fest in Chicago.
Gosh, that was from our old kicker.
Yeah, Robbie Gould goes in there
and
emerges as the MVP of the game. In fact, he's been amazing with the Niners. He's been
unbelievable.
I don't want to get into too much kicker talk here. I mean,
you don't want to go into the depths of hot kicker talk.
But Gold, did he have 5 field goals in that game?
Yeah, and they won 15-14.
It's what an ugly score. I don't know.
And I think the Bears. I think that was the game the Bears had a kick return for a touchdown. or they had a special teams touchdown of some sort, and that was not a very enjoyable football game.
Yeah, well, Brandon, you sound a little more positive. I think if I had talked to you yesterday or like during the season, I think you would have been much more negative, because I remember hanging out with you and Zach one time here in Portlandia, and you guys like watching the game. It's just hilarious. Like everything that happened, you're like, of course he's gonna throw an interception. Of course, you basically after the first mistake in the game, you guys like shut down and were like just bad mouthing the team from that point on.
Oh yeah, I mean that was every game with Jay Cutler. It wasn't a matter of if, it was when. He was never leading you on a game-winning drive. I mean, he had all the skill and ability to be a great quarterback, and he just, would step on his own dick. Can we swear on this, by the way?
Oh yeah, it's explicit lyrics. Feel free.
Okay, all right.
Feel free.
Yeah, I mean, he would just, shit all over himself at the end of the game, or in the middle of the game, or really any time during the game, and it was just.
Wow, you're really holding back here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Jay Cutler doesn't really give you a lot of material, so I'm really taking deep for this.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that Jay Cutler isn't a very good leader?
I wouldn't exactly call him Caesar. No, he wasn't a leader of men, really. So
Caesar, I love the Roman reference, Roman history.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about one of my favorite Bears players. I'll be a little selfish here. I'm a fan of the small, quick scat backs, water bugs, I like to call them. What are your thoughts on Mr. Tarik Cohen?
It's crazy. As soon as you said I want to talk about one of my favorite Bears, I was like, I bet he's going to say Tarik Cohen.
Oh,
so, I mean,
you know me.
He's super fun to watch, and I mean, he's not the player that Tyreek Hill is, but he has similar. He's probably.
It's a good comp.
I'd say he's like a upper middle class man's Tyreek Hill. Something like that.
Upper middle class.
But it's not a poor man. It's not middle.
I mean, he's got like a 3-bedroom house.
Yeah.
He lives in a pretty good neighborhood. He walks the dog after work. And doesn't worry about doesn't worry about crime in his neighborhood. Yeah.
No, he's not living paycheck to paycheck. He's got some money in the bank.
Out of debt. Debt.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Could make a down payment if he needed to. That kind of guy. But I think it'll be interesting to see how Nagy uses him. He's sort of a similar concept to Tyreek Hill and how you would employ him, and he returns punts as well occasionally. So I really like Tarik Cohen. The thing that scares me about him and scares me about all people like that's not a racist comment. Small running back.
Yeah, fragility.
Yeah. Right, exactly. I mean, you got a guy like Darren Sproles who's a freak and has lasted forever in the league.
Love him.
So fun to watch, and you just hope these guys can last as long. But running backs in the NFL are a dime a dozen. I think the average lifespan's 4 years or something at best.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you're small and you take those hits over and over, it's they add up. So I hope he.
Well, I was just gonna say it looks like he they were kind of almost force feeding him at the beginning of the year. I remember he was a hot fantasy pickup. Looks like he had 12 targets the first week, 9 the second week, and then I guess that was during the Mike Glennon experience.
Right, when he couldn't throw it more than 5 yards and everything had to get dumped off.
Old check down Charlie.
Right, exactly.
I don't mind a quarterback who checks down. I think more quarterbacks should personally, but he was taking it to like another level. I mean, Tarik Cohen had 8 catches for 47 yards. I mean, that's a lot of catches for very little yards. He did have a touchdown that first week, but Mike Glennon. What were your feelings? Did you enjoy when the Bears forked over that cash for Mike Glennon? What was your first thought, Brandon?
So, I mean, to me, before I even knew they were going to get Trubisky, I I mean, you need someone to quarterback your team, I guess. Everyone knew the Bears weren't going to win. You know, I think it's a miracle they won 5 games this year. You knew you weren't going to be competing for a playoff spot, for a championship. And why you're going to go out and spend, $10 million? I think it was 10 a year on Glennon for 2 years. Especially, I mean, Ryan Gase had to know he wanted to get Trubisky. He gave up a lot to get him, and it's a separate subject. But he had to have known he was going to go out and look at him, and to pay a guy that much money for a team that's not going to compete, just it seems foolish to me. And there was no real need to do it. I mean, you could have got anybody off the scrap heap. Hell, you could have got Kaepernick, but that's a whole different subject as well.
Yeah,
but
another kid.
I mean,
yeah. Right,
exactly. But I mean, you could have gone out and got anyone. I mean, you look around the NFL, some of these second and third string quarterbacks. They're just there to show up. Deshaun Kaiser and for Cleveland, and he started.
T.J. Yates.
It was. Yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean, what? There's no world in which Colin Kaepernick is not better than T.J. Yates. I'm sorry.
Or Nathan Peterman, or half these other bums that are out there.
Poor Nathan Peterman. Poor guy.
Yeah, he's just not good at football.
A lot of interceptions.
Yeah. Against not a very good defense either, the Chargers. Yeah. But it's a season. It's a wasted season. You're trying to get a better draft pick. You end up probably shooting yourself in the foot a little, winning these 5 games. And there's just no reason to go out and pay good money for a quarterback when you can just get any run-of-the-mill bum to lead your team for the year, take your 2 wins, and pick higher in the draft and move it on. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm with you on that. It seemed like they were kind of caught in this weird zone where they felt like they had to make some sort of a splash in free agency, but the market didn't really present them with a good QB. And Mike Glennon, for some reason, was anointed by media outlets and I don't know who. I mean, how does the market created around these guys? I mean, Mike Glennon, I don't think he'd ever proved that he was a surefire starting quarterback.
No, I mean, he wasn't, he's never been great. He wasn't exactly, crushing it out in Tampa Bay. His best season was an 84 passer rating. He had 2,600 yards and 60% completion ratio, with an average completion of 6 yards. So
I'll check down.
I don't know. He just exactly. It's exactly what we talked about earlier. It's a lot of check downs, and also having a guy like Evans to throw to. You don't have that guy in Chicago, and there's not anyone that's going to go up, especially with Jeffrey leaving. There's not anyone that's going to go up and get it for you. And I mean, he proved exactly what kind of quarterback he was within a very short period of time playing for the Bears this year. So
yeah. Well, speaking of quarterback play, let's talk about Mitchell Trubisky. I mean, he's a rookie. I felt like I saw a few of his games this season. I didn't really see him, exclusively like you did. But the team, in terms of total yards, it looks like they were 30th in the NFL. All right, passing yards, they were dead last. So, what are your thoughts on Trubisky? I enjoy his mobility. I think he's just. What was that?
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
It was
all
an
good.
ad. I was trying to look up.
Oh, I hate that. I hate when the ads pop up.
I'm gonna turn my speaker off here.
When I first started doing
this is good pod right here.
Oh no, we're gonna keep it in. We have to have the reality.
Okay.
When I first started doing the pod, it was happening to me constantly, and I finally just muted my computer because I couldn't take anymore. ESPN.
Man, that's what I just did.
All their ads.
So many ads. It's just everywhere you go, there's just so many ads.
You know that movie Minority Report?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course you do. Classic. But
Cruise. Oh yeah.
Like when he's walking.
Cogs.
Yeah. He's like walking through the mall, and all those ads are just like popping in front of his face. Like whatever his name is, like Ben Simmons. Hey, check out this loofah for your ass. It cleans your ass really well. Or just like these.
Check out this anal cream.
Yeah, it's like they're whispering like in your ear about all these advertisements. I feel like we're getting to that point where I go on YouTube and bombarded, go on ESPN. It's like some stupid video just starts playing this music and like I mean, what is the percentage of people who actually stop and look at the ad and like, oh, that sounds really interesting, and click on whatever they want you to click on? I feel like it's probably like 0.0006% of people who are exposed to these ads.
Probably the same number of people that click on the ones that are like, save $10 million with this one weird trick, or lose 18 pounds off your thighs with this one cheat doctors don't want you to know about. Yeah, because doctors don't want you to lose weight at all. They just love for you to be morbidly obese.
Doctors hate this guy. He just developed this new drug.
Yeah. Well, why do they hate him? They probably like him. They were probably going to use this drug or this whatever life hack he's come up with. It
just taps into the paranoia. I feel like it's going on now. It's just people like don't trust, any sort of authority on something. But that's let's not get into that.
Yeah. Oh, I have cancer. I'm going to eat a bunch of roots and it'll probably go away. Or you could listen to a professional oncologist. You make the call.
I didn't trust him.
Anyway,
I looked into his eyes, and that oncologist just something didn't seem right. It seemed like he was part of a grand conspiracy. Give me some sort of drug.
He's trying to bring back. I think he's trying to bring back Heaven's Gate. So I don't trust him.
Oh God! All right. Well, let's bring it back on the rails. Although this pod,
sorry.
No. It's this pod is becoming known for the tangents, going off the trail, getting into the woods, getting a little lost, and then slowly making our way back. So no, these are welcome. These tangents are welcome, my friend. But yeah, Mitchell Trubisky. What are your?
So we're not going full Donner Party here. We're bringing it back.
Yeah, what would that be? I had to spit on myself. What would that be the equivalent of, like, in that metaphor? Like,
I think
that
would just be like. I think that would just be like us yelling "fuck you" back and forth like 100 times until we ran out of time.
Or like talking about just like some like obscure like non-sports thing for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, getting into like 1980s cinema.
Oh God, we'll have to do a pod where it's like nothing but tangents. We'll have to make that happen. That'd be funny.
That would be good. We can come up with like a list and we'll email it to each other right before we do the pod, and then we just gotta go off on like 10 different topics we've each come up with.
I love it. All right.
For real, let's get the Wonder Woman lasso of truth back and reel ourselves in here.
Is that really what they call her lasso?
Yeah, I think she like lassoed people, and then they had to start telling the truth. Things were simpler back in the 70s when comics were being made.
I think she goes way back. She's like
60s, 50s,
1895 or something.
she was on the Wild West frontier, just part of the Oregon Trail.
The lasso of truth. Wow, I gotta get up on my DC comic book movies. I'm still
working. Is that DC or Marvel?
I think she's DC, right? Am I?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know enough.
Who knows? If it's not Expendables, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right. If it's not Expendables 3, I'm not interested.
Yeah. Remember I made you sit through the whole credits I think
Oh yeah.
Expendables 1 or 2.
What is it? Chuck Norris? You thought was gonna end? Who was it?
I think it was Chuck Norris.
You thought there was gonna be some actor that was gonna show up.
And
Dude, Chuck Norris makes an appearance. We gotta see it.
We sat through the whole credits of like Expendables, and nobody else was in the theater. It was on like a Tuesday night.
Well, to be fair, I don't think there was anyone when the movie began. There continued to be nobody in there by the end of it as well.
Yeah. It was completely empty all the way through. Oh God, Good times, my friend.
Oh yeah.
All right. Mr. Trubisky.
Yeah. So Trubisky, yeah. Anyways, so I mean, I like what I've seen. I think he has skill set. I think his arm is strong. His mobility is good. I think he had a horrific receiving core to work with. You know, the line's not the worst, but it's not great. That's Seattle's line, but you know, it's also not Pittsburgh's line. So I think there's a lot of stuff to work with, and I think if you get someone like a Nagy to work with him, to mold him, to teach him, I think there's something there to work with. So, you know, I think he has a pretty high ceiling, and I think he's going to be, at worst, a good quarterback. I think at worst he'll be slightly better than Joe Flacco. You know, I think that's kind of his floor. So
that's high praise.
Yeah, but you know, I've been wrong about many things before, but he certainly appears to have the physical skills. Now it's about, you know, mentally understanding what's going on, being able to read defenses, understanding what defensive coordinators are trying to do and trying to lure you into, and being knowledgeable of that, and Nagy should hopefully help a lot with that. So I like the potential for him, and I think there's a possibility he'll be a successful quarterback. And I think I heard something today on the radio that they're thinking about taking an offensive tackle with their first pick.
Smart.
So I think that's going to help him out, and maybe Kevin White actually can play a few downs this year. And
so sad, man. So sad.
So sad.
I mean, how many seasons is it now? Is it 3?
2.
2? Okay, good.
Two completely wasted seasons. 7th overall pick. So
that's just a stroke of bad luck.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. You know, sometimes you draft guys and they're never healthy. Just the way of the NFL, unfortunately.
Indeed. Well, I was reading this article about Nagy, and they were saying that he's going to be good for Trubisky because he kind of excels developing quarterbacks, and also he injects a lot of college concepts into his play calling, including like rollouts. I'm not sure if rollouts are strictly college. They're not obviously not strictly college, but
I mean, look what the Rams did with that this year. You know, Goff was terrible when he had to stand in the pocket and make a throw. You know, 3rd and 8, he wasn't very good. But when he could play action to Gurley and get rolling out, Goff was excellent.
He was lights out.
And I mean, that's where all these offenses are going, is really using play action to get the defense to commit and moving your quarterback around. You know, obviously you're going to have your Bradys and your Roethlisbergers, and I mean, even Breeze is a pretty mobile quarterback. You know? But that's sort of the way things are going, is getting guys outside the pocket and moving them around. Some confusing looks for defenses and misdirection. It's you know, and that's what Nagy runs, and he runs a West Coast offense. You know, he was under the tutelage of Andy Reid, and you know, that's what Andy Reid has run his entire career, and Nagy ran the same thing, obviously with some differences and some more creativity and some outside of the box thinking, but that's really what he's coming here to do.
If what Nagy brings is outside the box thinking, what does John Fox bring in terms of offensive philosophy and creativity?
John Fox brings an inside the box thinking with about 18 rolls of duct tape put around it. And
The box is like welded shut in in titanium.
yeah,
And it's like
yeah,
it's like 16 boxes within a box. You know, like
Yeah.
all the boxes are
The-
just layered inside of each other. Yeah.
It's a fire. Yeah, it's a Chinese doll of boxes that's locked inside a fireproof safe. Yeah.
Oh God.
I mean, he had the creativity of the writers on the Brady Bunch. Like, I mean,
that's an old reference, but I
yeah. Sorry, I don't
No,
know.
no.
I don't know your audience. Are we talking to a bunch of millennials here, or
it's basically just
old,
my friends.
old grizzled vets? Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
It's a bunch of veterans, like old,
Yeah.
85-year-old people.
Ah, perfect. Yeah. They turn this on at the VA and have a listen.
It's a bunch. It's heavy rotation in nursing homes, and
Oh, very nice.
so
Hospice
that
care.
people are oh God, dark. I like it.
Yeah.
They're just a bunch of elderly folks just doubling over in laughter after that Brady Bunch reference. So thank you for that. You're hitting the demographics. Love it.
Oh, perfect.
Well, you got me excited about Tarik Cohen because I think somebody spent like $60 in our auction fantasy league to get him.
Which is, by the way, is the only way to do fantasy football is the auction draft.
Man,
I'm never going back to the six.
Yeah, I can't go. I mean, I think we've been doing it 3 or 4 years in our longtime league of people from Louisville, and it's just at first I was a little leery because I felt like the people in the league who had done it before had an advantage on the people who are newbies, but I don't think it was that big of an advantage, and I think it's just amazing. It adds another wrinkle. It's more exciting. I love it. Can't get enough.
No, I think it's a far superior way to do fantasy sports.
I agree.
And it takes way more. It takes way more skill. It's way more fun. And
yeah, and like I like the auction style as well for the free agency and the waivers and everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The bidding.
Yeah, the bidding and everything is kind of exciting. Like I thought I had gotten Cohen. I think I put like 50 down, and this other guy in our league, I think put 60, or he beat me out, and I went to bed with this smug, self-satisfaction on my face, like I got this, and
I pulled one over on these numbnuts.
Yeah, I was real happy with myself, real happy. Drank a bunch of broth right before I went to sleep. I woke up
just slamming down some broth,
taking shots of broth all night. Oh God.
You got chicken?
Yeah,
what kind of broth we talking here?
Well, it was hot, and I had some chicken broth because I was doing some cooking.
Chicken, okay.
And I just poured it in a mug. I was like, I want something hot but savory, And
yeah,
I tell you what, man, it warmed me right up. But I felt a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. Just drinking broth by itself out of a mug. But
Yeah, I mean that's a savage move right there.
Yeah. It's guess it's the 94-year-old man inside of me who just had to get a little broth. All right, enough broth talk. I mean, I could go on for hours, obviously, about broth.
Oh, please. We could get into beef. We could get into turkey. I mean, there's all sorts of range here.
Beef broth. I remember when I was working in Yosemite for a summer. There was this woman I work with, and she would bring like one of those kind of mug. What are those called? Like a thermos. Oh my God.
A thermos, yeah.
A thermos of beef broth for lunch every day.
What? That's insane. She would drink like hot beef broth?
Hot fortified beef broth. In the dead heat of a Central Californian summer, and she could
She has
not
an
get
eating
enough.
disorder?
I think she brought other food too. Like she brought, she'd bring a sandwich or
Oh, okay.
salad on the side. But she loved her broth, Brandon. I don't know what
Wow.
to tell you. But well, my friend, maybe we should just save the rest of the bull. I
Cut our losses
I
here.
was gonna talk some bulls with you, but we've clocked some nice potting here. I wanted to
Is that
ask
what
you
it's
though.
called now? Potting?
Yeah, I'm not making any sense right now. My pants, the drawstring of my pants kind of became undone, and my pants started to fall off. Too much TMI, so I was kind of distracted there for a second. But
That'll happen.
yeah, you ever walking down the street and your pants just fall down? I mean, it happens all the time.
My
right?
pants are just off, so for whatever that's worth.
I love it. Have you been to Pequod's lately?
Actually, so we had some friends come up from Austin, and we took them to Pequod's, and oh man, that place is just the best.
Oh, I can't. I really miss that place.
Pequod's, yeah.
How do you say it?
Good.
How do you say it? I always say it wrong.
Yeah, Pequod's, whatever you want to call it. I mean,
Quads.
Everyone's got a different way to say it.
Yeah, it's the best pizza. Am I going to say it's the best in the country? I think it's the best pizza that I've had in the country.
Really? Wow. So
hyperbolic.
So it's my second favorite.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
I like Lou's better.
Wow.
I still do it.
Traditionalist.
Yeah. And they're family friends of ours, so I'm biased.
Mm. Well, they make a great pie as well. And for those who haven't had the Chicago style pizza, it really is a pie. It's a savory pie, and the Pequod's crust is buttery, but it's real crispy. The crispiness, I think, is what sets it apart. And oh man, I'm getting hungry.
Oh, they do it perfectly. Absolutely perfect.
Do it real nice. Do it up real nice.
Oh yeah.
All right, my friend.
I had a snack before coming on here, and now I just went over to
Yeah, I've worked myself up into a lather. I'm really hungry, and I kind of took a little nap right before the pod, so I have a lot of energy. And
oh man, you really brought your game.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do it intentionally. I was actually gonna just power through, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting old. I get tired in the afternoon now. And
I hear you.
My body just basically took over my brain and just put me onto the couch and forced me to go to sleep. I couldn't do anything about it.
You know what I found helps get rid of the afternoon drag?
Cocaine?
At the end, well, that too. Yeah, that's below. A speedball.
Just a touch of speed. 230 really perks me up. Just a little tip, all right?
Yeah. No, when you're done with your shower in the morning, just crank it freezing cold for like 20 to 30 seconds. Then just shock your body. It wakes you up, and I don't know the scientific effects or whatever, but in the afternoon, I don't drag anymore if I do that in the morning.
Huh. It's a little old wives' tale-ish, but I like it. I like that.
Totally.
Do you put the shower head like right on your dick? Does that make you really perk up, or
I actually open my asshole and just let it pour in. No.
I was thinking about that, but you went there. I love it. This is why I like you, Brandon. This is why we're friends.
That's right. This is why we're friends.
That's why we're friends.
That's right. No, I like to get the head and the face, and then the back of the neck, and then just make 20 to 30 seconds out of it, and get out. It's crazy because you'll get out of the shower and you're not cold. Like you just put a bunch of cold water in you, but you feel warm.
That's interesting. It's almost like like the Russians are famous for getting in, or maybe it's the Norwegians. They get in the steam bath or the steam room.
Icelandians.
Icelandian, Greenlandians, the people who live in the cold Scandinavians, Scandinavian Landians, they get really hot and then they jump in like an ice pond or something, to
Yeah,
jolt their senses. And supposedly it has
it works, man.
health benefits. So it's kind of what you're doing, man.
Yeah, no, but I found since I started doing it, man, I don't have that like 2-3 o'clock crash. It's just I don't get it anymore.
Well, when I was swimming, I was doing a little swimming in the morning. I hurt my
that would
ankle.
help.
I hurt my ankle, so I was doing some like running in the water. And
Like a homeless guy.
you said kicking a homeless guy?
Yeah.
How did you know? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I guess you can read my soul from all those miles away. You can.
I know you pretty well, bud.
I was curb stomping this homeless guy, and I really hurt my ankle, and so I had to do rehab. Classic, right? Yeah. So I was.
We've all done that.
But like the pool, I went to this outdoor pool, and it was really cold in the morning. But I do feel like I had more energy throughout the day.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I agree.
After doing that. So on Gaudy Stats, we don't just talk about sports. We also do like health-related discussions, and we talk about food, and talk about violently attacking homeless people. That
we covered food and health with all our broth talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and there's going to be a lot more broth talk. I have a feeling this is unlocked broth talk for Gaudy Stats podcast, and we're going to be talking about that.
Maybe we, you could probably just change the name of this podcast to Broth Talk.
Oh God, love it. All right, my friend, it's been a pleasure.
All right, bud. Yeah, absolutely. And next time we chat on the podcast, we'll talk some Bulls.
Yes, definitely.
Even a little Blackhawks, and maybe some baseball previews as well.
Yeah, man, we can talk whatever you want to talk about. It's been a pleasure. I loved having you on, and we'll have you on many more times.
All right. Thanks, brother.
All right. Thanks, buddy. See you.
All right. Adios.